Hello, and welcome to session 5 of Slouching Towards Eldemy in GURPS 4th edition.
Hello.
My name is Stu, I am the GM, and we have players.
I'm Jose. I'm Dale Odell. Ranger, man of the woods. Sorry. It's been a while.
I know. Man about forest.
Man about woods. Man about trees.
All right, I am Kris, and I am Thilde Vestergaard, and I wasn't here last time. I'm a mage, and, you know, helpful.
I'm Stork.
See,
and
you didn't have a good one either.
I'm Stork, and I'm playing a mage as well. He's a private investigator, Phade, Drawlight. Now, I made a private investigator, and we're out in the country, so let's see how well that goes.
You never know.
You never know.
You never know. Jay's not with us this time, but I'm sure he will be with us next time. This is probably our last session of this year, I'm guessing, because the holiday Sundays
It's Boxing Day.
are...
The Kanukistani audience wouldn't be interested in watching because that's family day for them.
Right.
The Soviet states of Kanukistan.
Kanukistan? There's no state called Kanukistan.
In my head.
Is that
there
from
is.
Borat? That's from Borat.
No, a friend of mine made
that
it
was
up. He's like,
Kazakhstan, and that's a
he's
real
like, that
place.
guy's from the Soviet states of Kanukistan. I'm like, Kanukistan. Yes. Yes.
think
America's
the
hat.
The Warner Brothers have one that I steal all the time, which is Slabovia or something.
Lower Slobovia?
Lower
Yeah,
Slobovia.
That's right. I've heard that one, too. All right. Last session, did anyone want to kind of cobble together what happened last time?
Yeah, I was taking notes, so you're on your own. Ha, ha, ha,
Right.
ha, ha.
I remember some of it.
Not a lot really happened, because we spent a lot of time organizing and evacuating the town and getting all of the people together.
Yes.
We spent a couple of hours making sure that they were on their way and all of that stuff. And then we went to bed, and we were awakened by noises, I think, of the night. Is that right? And so we
Sure.
went to go investigate, or you did? Or
No,
maybe
I went to check out the scene and noticed that there was, like,
you slept outside.
Yeah.
That's right.
I was watching. I was doing the thing. I was guarding.
You were doing the ranger thing.
Yes. And I
And
came
you-
back and woke you guys up and said, hey,
Because the pools of black tar were getting closer.
yes. And I spotted that house, and there was somebody inside that we hadn't evacuated.
Right. So then, when
Not to
morning
give anything
came,
away. Spoiler alert.
When morning came, well, it's the summer anyway. When morning came, we then went and investigated the house,
Yes.
and
And mayhem ensued.
it's funny. Stu did a very good job
Yes.
because there were two houses on our way to the original site, and I thought it was the house, but part of me was like, this house seems like a little closer. Didn't we travel for like most of the day to get to the first house?
Yep.
But this didn't. Maybe I'm just misunderstanding in the telling. So you went into what looked like a house that was a lot closer in hindsight than it should have been.
And then the door closed behind me, and I started to get it. My boots were dissolving. I lost a boot.
You
I
did.
actually did lose a boot.
Those boots are made for dissolving. So that's just what they'll do.
Boo doo 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 doo
Never sit
doo.
down.
Once you enter this house, those boots will dissolve right off of you. That's the pun. That's the pun for the day.
Right.
Writing up Dale lost boots.
I lost a boot.
Because the houses turned out to be
They started flooding with digestive juices because they're basically giant mimics or
mimic.
building-shaped Venus flytraps, whatever.
Some sort of amorphous blob came out of there and turns itself into local traps to eat things.
Yep. It was very exciting, though.
And then, as we left, the entire, or a large contingency from the
Well, it was
capital,
yeah,
it was
yeah.
primarily horses,
horses,
Yeah.
which don't fit through skipping mirrors.
armed cavalry showed up.
That were just horses. We're headed east from Ecoha Smirt to rendezvous with troops that were going to be flooding out of the mirror in the Cordell Tower and making their way down the treacherous steps.
They're close to the candles. The stairway
Be treacherous.
can be treacherous. Which, as I know, because I'm still healing the 5 points of damage I took from
Right?
falling down the stairs.
Oh, I'm okay. Fine.
Well, you're like a warrior. You took like 3 points or whatever. Me, I took over half
Yes.
my damage.
Now, when the session ended, you guys had made it to Ecoha Smirt, and I believe you met with the Baron there.
Yes.
Yes. And we were told not to go out because it's dangerous.
Right. Yeah, that's right. He was putting you up inside his mana.
Yeah.
Right. And that's where we left it, I believe.
Right.
Yeah.
And we were
And the reason
hoping
you guys stay there is you're basically waiting because there's a skipping mirror there. So
Yeah. Well, the Beagle was going out to gamble.
right.
He was going out to like
and since he's
reconnoiter
not-
and gamble.
Since he's not here, he might need to be in jail right now.
Yeah.
And we wanted to hang around and have a meeting with Dostomir because we need to update him about what just happened
Right.
and see if he has
An
any
idea.
what we should do next. Because technically, we know where anyway. So that's where we left it. Yes.
Yes.
All right.
I concur. Second. What do we win?
Nothing.
Ah.
Well, okay. So, and if we're starting the game, then we could have a meeting because
Let's say it's the next morning. Everyone who has any damage can go ahead and make their mighty health roll to see if they get a point back.
Do we get XP to start the session?
Oh yeah. That's another 3.
Woohoo!
that's like 6 whole spells.
Gonna eventually be able to hit something. I may even get to the broadside of the barn at the end of this session.
Which would have been handy fighting a mimic.
I was going to say. Yeesh,
I
that
seem
was
to remember
rough.
you failed a bunch of rolls.
Yeah, and then when I finally, I got
to
lucky.
hit it though.
Well, it was the lucky one was being able to swing around and burst out the window and get out of the thing.
Right.
That was the one that really helped, but I still lost a boot.
Okay. So go ahead and did you make your health roll? If you have damage.
I made it. Yay. I think last time I did this, I didn't make it. And that gets rid of my final damage.
Nice.
Finally healed up from falling down the stairs like a week ago.
Well, Bruce is tickling.
So what do we need
Oh,
to do?
and we should get her back, right?
Yes.
She
will, like, wherever it is you guys take your morning meal, which is probably not with the Baron, because you're not, like, official state guests. He's just
Right.
letting you stay there. There's probably a,
table in the kitchen or something.
it's probably a little nicer than that.
Eat in the barracks with the
No,
guards.
he probably has some sort of, like, auxiliary dining room. The kids' table.
Nice. We're all like, I can't. It's like tiny little forks. But they have like characters from
course.
fairy tales.
And pictures in the bottom of the bowls, the wooden bowl carved
Exactly.
with little pictures, so you finish all of your porridge or whatever.
Exactly.
So we'll say that's where she is when you guys get up to break your fast. She's already there.
Hooray! Welcome back.
Hi, guys. How you been?
I almost got it. By
Yeah,
a
where's
house.
your boot? You're gonna need a boot.
I need to get a new boot.
Oh yeah.
Lost a boot. Out in a boot. We
Ah.
lost it.
I like it.
You did good. Everybody is apparently showing up here now that we were able to evacuate the town. In your absence, thank you for helping out. I would have felt really
you
bad
betcha.
leaving all of those poor people to the houses that eat people.
A house tried to. Oh yeah. Oh my goodness. That's.
And we'll
that's
catch you up on what
Quite a doozy. Yeah.
Which brings us to our next point, which is I would really like to have a meeting with Dostomir to see if to update him with this and to see if he has any more information for us,
Right.
or if he even wants us to continue on. Because at this point, I'm concerned that whoever's in town might come up here where this evil has got a foothold to
Right.
see what's going on, and we may have even have alerted ourselves. I don't know. And I just want to know if Dostomir has any more information that we might be able to go on, because once we get into that city, we're just going to, ask around? So,
So
Is that not how we do it?
yeah.
Hold a sign up? Do you know who killed this guy?
Yeah.
Anyone?
So he's not going to actually come here, but he did give me some information.
Okay.
So you're not going to believe this because it's, wow, right? So several heirs have been reported dead from partial insanguination.
What?
Yeah.
Okay, so just like His Grace, they've been drained of their blood.
Yeah, and no sign of how the blood was removed.
So this is all the same family. They're gathering all the same blood.
They have terrible luck. It's just terrible.
Does that include the one heir that she was abroad fighting?
Haven't heard from her.
Not heard from her.
The two have been taken or cousins that are pretty much a little ways down the line of succession, but they still have royal imperial blood.
It concerns me that perhaps she's behind all this then. She has
Oh, you
designs,
think?
designs on the throne.
But it's her throne.
Who's
Yeah, she is heir apparent.
she's the heir apparent? Was she the heir apparent after the first murder?
She was heir apparent. Period.
Okay.
Yeah, and she's off like on another continent, doing whatever heir apparents do.
I could be wrong, but I'm trying to find a motive
Yeah.
to take out this whole same family. And it's more than just mystical. I'm assuming there's a political gain in it as well.
Well, I gotta tell you, Dostomir believes this was done with pact magic.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, so some sort of supernatural entity killed the heirs in return for some gift or favor, probably, the Emperor's blood. Yeah, that's what Dostomir thinks.
I think he told us that before. I'm just curious as to why it's going on in the whole same family lineage now. It's the Emperor and his wife, and his consort, right?
His wife.
And now 2 cousins.
Is there any way to get a hold of the heir apparent?
Well, I
not
thought
our
we
job,
tried,
though.
didn't we?
They're still trying.
They're
She's
still
They're
trying.
trying
Far
to get
away.
a message from.
Yes.
All right.
And I don't know
Magical?
why they
Not
would be
magic, just
bothering
regular.
with
I
the
see.
whole family lineage. I don't know much about pack magic, though.
Maybe they're trying to put somebody like a puppet in there for themselves.
A couple scenarios placed out in my head. These wizards made a pact with some elder god, and they needed the most powerful royal lineage to satiate as payment.
Right.
The other one is the heir apparent is gathering power for herself, and the best thing that I don't know what people would take her as regent without question. So she's probably consolidating her power base, and
Right.
along with magic and getting rid of her cousins, all very neatly tied up in one. That's another possibility.
Well, that's a darn shame. You just shouldn't do that to family.
I tried doing that once to family. It didn't work out. That's why I'm a ranger.
What's the name of the mage school that does politics?
the one that Dostomir belongs to.
Yes.
I don't remember.
All of these conjectures are really in the purview of that school
Yeah.
than mine. I'm merely a hedge mage compared to some of the machinations that go on and some of the magics that they are privy to.
Well, that's
The only reason I'm thinking about it is that it may have some. All of these conjectures give us clues, perhaps, onto motives and a way to find these people.
right.
If we can discern what it is they're doing and why they're doing it, we may be able to find them easier, or at least anticipate where their next move is.
Well, maybe we should make it a list of family members. Like,
Yeah,
who-
but that's not. We're not really privy to all of that. I mean, yeah, maybe we could. Maybe the Baron has a family lineage here in his library that we could look up, just for names.
yeah.
He is the Emperor of the realm. I'm sure that's fairly common knowledge. There's
Right.
probably at least a family history
Oh, I'm sure.
tree somewhere. I'm sure barons and all of that want to. We could ask. That's
Exactly.
that's a thought.
Because maybe they should all be put under protection or something, just in case.
I'm sure that Dostomir has thought of that.
Yeah.
I'm sure that this is sending his school into complete and total chaos because this has political ramifications and that's their purview. That's their milieu, and they're failing, or at least it's affecting them greatly.
Hello, dog.
So,
Did someone leave the door open? Go outside, Baloo. Thank you. I'll escort him out.
so anyway,
The Sage Wallow. Those are the mages that insert themselves into all of the powerful families.
Got
Good
it.
boy. You're such a good boy. I'm going to let you
the
outside.
wallowing sages. They sit around and eat all the fine meals and just talk politics. The wallowing
Yes.
Well, they're the ones that actually get involved in politics, while the other ones try to stay out of it. Thank you, Baloo.
So,
All right. It's
I'm just bringing this up to see what you guys think, because we might, many heads might be able to crack this nut
Right.
than just the one. I am concerned that we are in way over our head because we're dealing with an elder god. Clearly, we're dealing with blood magic and pack magic, which is something that very few people do, let alone know about, and it's
Right.
incredibly dangerous and powerful. And third, I'm not too sure what our goal is. I mean, once we find out where these people are we supposed to take them out?
Gosh, I hope not.
Because that's way beyond our pay grade.
Well, I'm just wondering why. I mean, it all goes back to why they would go after the family. Just, what it has to be. We have to find out what the bargain is. If that's like the root of the whole thing. Like, are they trying to bring like a cataclysm? Are they just trying to mess things up politically?
Well, I do know that one of the reasons everything went sideways up there is that whatever they're doing in town has been affecting the ley lines and magic
Right.
in this area. Because my detect magic spell should not have done what it did if the veil between the two worlds was not already thinned and broken into places.
Right.
So whatever it is they're doing over there has affected this whole area to a great degree. So it's almost too late, I think. Whatever it is that they are planning or planned, they've succeeded.
Huh.
Which again is something Dostimir, well, if he comes and he sent people, he might be able to figure that out on his own.
Right.
He might get another missive. But again, I'm not sure what our next step should be. We can continue on to town, but are we supposed to kill these people?
Well,
I thought we were just supposed to find them.
Right. I think the job that we need to stick to is just finding out who it is that did this, because that's what we were hired to do, right? Let's stick to that, and then we'll take the next step when we get there. Because I'm sure once we discover these guys, the next step will avail itself. Because once they figure out, hey, you guys aren't supposed to know who we are, then I think there's going to be a lot of possibly fighting, maybe some running, a little bit of bleeding, So if we focus on the job at hand and then get to that point and figure out if we should go ahead and skedaddle after we deliver the news or see what they want us to do at that point.
Okay.
Entirely up to you.
Because I don't know. This is a little beyond my usual. I go after bandits who are poaching deer in royal lands, and I protect,
Just think of these guys as two incredibly crafty, powerful deer.
There you go.
Or a cabal of really, really devious poachers.
I like that one.
So, hey guys, I just, thought I'd make share just a little of something else I learned from Dostimir while I was there, because, we had a real good chat. And, what he said to me is, it's becoming difficult to control the information around the emperor and, the problem with succession. So he says, I don't know how much longer the government will be able to function. So, that's pretty serious, right? And he said, whatever replaces this government can't be the people who perpetrated this conspiracy, because that would be bad. And, and by the way, he just gave me a heck of a lot of gold. Lots and lots of gold, so much gold. So I'm supposed to use the gold to prevent the bad people from being from.
Are we going to buy them a cake or something?
Yeah, cake. No, not cake.
Or pie?
Just don't you be
Pie
silly.
is good.
You
I love
silly
pie.
head. Pie is good, though.
Is the amount of money he gave you enough to hire an army?
It's a very large amount of gold.
So
I'm basically us, because we're a team. We're supposed to just save the country with this money.
wait a minute. That's not what I signed up for.
This isn't the lighthearted romp I thought we were going to be on.
I'm used to just finding, cheating husbands and missing children. I'm not just cut out
Poachers.
for taking on
Well, these guys might be poaching a
pact
government.
mages summoning elder gods. Well, all right.
This could be very entertaining.
So, it's safe with me till we figure out what we're going to do with it.
Well, I think you're right. Let's continue just putting one foot in front of the other. We'll make our way to town and see if things reveal themselves.
And that is still Dostomir's instructions. You know, the people who might take over the government can't be the people who perpetrated the conspiracy. So we have to find out who perpetrated the conspiracy.
Could even be Dostomir at this point.
Well, you know, he doesn't think too much of you.
I know. It is the nature of schooled wizards to look down on other schools.
I don't look down on people.
No. And most wizards look down on me for my lifestyle, as it were.
Oh.
I'm poor. I help people. I have no political aspirations of my own. You know, everything
all
else
right.
wizards really like.
Nothing to do with hand puppets or sheep.
I'm not going to confirm or deny any of that.
Hand puppets.
Well, I got to tell you, Dostomir's awfully concerned about you. Not you. He doesn't have any opinion about you. Just him. Just Phade.
Just thinks I'm incompetent and can't do anything, I'm sure.
Well, he kind of thinks you're part of the conspiracy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
He
That's
said
not
it.
very nice at all.
No. No.
Well, that's fine. I think he might be part of it too. So we're
There
for
you
tat
go.
there.
That's influencing friends and making people.
Well, I'm sure after the debacle up there at the tree, he thinks that I did that on purpose, and clearly somebody of my low power shouldn't be able to do what I did. So I'm sure he's completely thinking that, but he'll figure it out at some point. There's no way I could have done that.
Was
There's
a
no
bit
way
of a
he could
bumble,
have done
though.
that. What?
It was a bit of a bumble, though, wasn't it?
It was, but he'll calm down.
If you want to mark it down, you have 75 Imperial crowns. Each Imperial crown is equivalent of 1,000 GURPS bucks.
It is enough to hire an army.
It is. You got 75,000 GURPS dollars, or whatever you want to call them, in game terms. It is a fuck ton of cash.
Fuck ton of cash.
It
buy a
might
wagon.
Not actually. It could. You could buy a small army if that's what you wanted to do, but I don't know if you'd be able to sustain them for a long period of time.
So remind me, the horses are going to meet people who are coming down the mountain. Who are those people?
Those are soldiers sent from the capital to deal with what's going on in that
A
little
little
town.
bit of a mess. Okay.
Yes.
got it.
What we really need is an inn with the underworld over there. Because we need eyes and ears around that whole town, and I don't have any connections in this city.
I'm from the other side of the
Yeah,
continent.
me too.
Yeah, me too.
We're headed here, right?
Yeah.
Or is it here?
The upper one.
It's
Yeah.
Amana, yeah.
I'm from way over there in Hostleton. It's a little hard to say.
What was the other city that's near there?
Oracia?
No, up north of there. I think.
Simpleton?
Simpleton.
I should have
yeah.
been from there.
Aw.
Maybe I should change.
I have a picture. I'm not going to say what it is, but pictured in my mind, I have a scene. If you guys ever go there, like as you're approaching the town, of a thing that you will see.
I want to go to Simpleton. We should go back. Let's go to the mirror. I want to go to Simpleton.
Is it a big statue of Jane?
No.
I want to go to the crappy town where I'm a hero.
All right. So the and also Dostomir said that once he has figured out whatever is going on around through, he would either send a messenger to Smrt for you, or he would come himself and like brief you or debrief you.
Okay, so we're staying put until we get...
That what he said he would send word. He would send word to you there.
Okay. So we're not going to set off anywhere.
Well, let's see if we can avail ourselves of the library. And why don't you see if you can go out and find out what Beagle's up to, and see if you can find any information. Maybe we shouldn't do that. Just metagame the fact that he's not supposed to be here.
Well, let's rather than have you guys investigate a missing player character when we know
Right,
perfectly well
right.
why he isn't
Yes. Sorry, got carried away.
Sorry.
let's say he's going he's going under like a deep cover to try to get like entrenched
go.
into the criminal underground. He says, "Don't try to contact me. I'm going to establish myself as whatever."
Perfect.
He'd be the best
So
person
that's
to.
that's
yeah.
actually what I was going to have you do with your rangerly skills.
Well, you can duplicate whatever efforts he has. Obviously, because he's not actually doing that, he can't make it to the game today. So, so whatever you decide to do, and however we need to modify the reason why he's not here is fine. As long as it don't kill his character.
He's dead, Jim. I'll go to the seedy side of town. I'll go look around, ask some questions, because we're still trying to track down who killed these guys. So
Perhaps if you could find out who's in charge of the Thieves Guild in... I wouldn't ask directly who's in charge of the Thieves Guild, but perhaps if we could get a word...
I can't hold up a sign and
No.
say, need
Please.
info on Thieves Guild,
I forgot
please?
who I was talking to.
Yeah,
Dale.
okay. Gotcha.
You might want to use your inside voice when asking these questions.
Right. How are they going to hear me? I'm not sure. Think really hard.
This is a bad idea. I forgot who I was talking to. The man who frightens away wood. There's hunting's terrible everywhere I go.
I don't know why they don't come to me. No, but I will. I'll go take a look around. Because this whole town is kind of seedy.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I am going to... Yes, I'm going to take a walk.
Okay.
And I'm going to kind of see where... Gosh, how do you say this without sounding like a... where it's seediest.
Okay.
Because there's going to be, even in a town that's kind of low law, there's going to be a section of that town
That's really low.
that's frightening. That the people in the town won't even go to.
What we need is an in to the information network in that main town.
Yeah.
So whatever it might be, even teamsters and servants.
I will,
Have
yes,
ears,
I
eyes,
will
and
look
ears.
towards also any other bushmen or rangers or woodsmen
Okay.
in the town.
Okay.
Because those guys in a town like this are gonna know stuff, even if they're not necessarily directly involved.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So that is my thing. I'm gonna go for a walk.
Okay. Now, if you're, are you going to try to find the seediest part of town first, or are you going to try to find like fellow outdoorsman sort of people?
just got a conjured image of guy in waders with the bucket hat with the fly fishing. Yes, and
Fellow
an outdoorsman guy with like the way I want to start is I want to do a reconnaissance run.
Okay.
I want to do, like, it's not a huge town. I could probably,
I would call it a city, but it's not a big city. It's certainly not the capital of this province. The capital of this province is Amana.
and Amana is what, like 10, 12, like end-to-end miles?
Oh, yeah. It's fair. Probably, yeah. Probably 5 miles. I would
5
say,
miles?
yeah.
Yeah, I'll take a walk,
Okay.
and I'll do the straight up wander. I'll just like follow a path, turn at a certain point, stick into the main drags first, and then kind of
And trying to see the lay of the land.
because you can there's even for someone who's from out of town, you can still tell, you know, when you're exploring a city where people do and do not go.
Right. Okay.
So I will do that.
Okay.
Yes.
Anyone else doing anything in the morning-ish?
I want to go to the library. Do you want to come with, or do you have a...
I have a question. How incommoded am I by these 75 Imperial crowns? Are they heavy? Are they bulky? Am I about to be
Good
robbed?
question.
Robbed is yes,
Very big
always.
deal.
Here especially, yes. You're constantly in danger of being robbed. If anyone finds out, especially if they know how much money you have on you, people will outright try to murder you in front of people if they
Okay,
know
I'm
you
going to
have that
stick
much
with
money.
Phade then,
Okay.
because there's safety in numbers.
Okay.
And I'm going to find the steward or whatever and ask if they have a library that we could use.
Yes.
And I want to do a little research on Amana, who's in charge, lineage and such, and I also would like to see if we can't find the family tree of the Emperor and who his various heirs are.
Oh, good idea.
Okay. Now there is whoever your household member you're talking to will let you know that the Baron's court mage is a Trevisail, who's from your family.
Okay.
So he's not in town right now. He's dealing with what's going on through.
Right.
But they assure you that he would not mind a fellow member of the family to use his facilities.
Oh,
as it were.
okay.
So that it's his library basically in his lab, but he says you consider yourself to have the run of it.
Cool. So we're going to poke around a bit. And like I said, I want to see if I can't find at least a list of the Emperor's lineage.
Okay.
Which I'm sure because
That's real easy to find.
fairly
that
easy.
should be.
Yes. And I'm more concerned. I want to find information about Amana. I want to find out who's in charge.
Okay.
I would love to have a map of the city,
Okay.
if there is one. I would love to find out who some of the various power brokers are there. You know, major merchants, and I would love to know if there's an update, especially since he's the court mage here, who the court mage there is.
Okay. All right.
Stuff like that.
Got it.
I'd also like to know if they have a map of the castle.
The castle at Trevisail or at Amana.
At Amana.
Okay. I'm just making notes.
I want to know basically who the major merchants in town that might afford to hire wizards that would be willing to take on. You know what I mean? So it would be all the Bill Gateses of the town.
Right.
All the millionaires, those movers and shakers. Now, I realize, it's just a small country library, but I think some of this stuff might be fairly... Just read the medieval equivalent of People magazine just to find out who's going on. What's going on, or even the newspapers.
Okay. All right. As far as lineage goes, there's only one direct heir. Well, the daughter of the Emperor is now, although she hasn't been crowned, she is by default the Emperor now. She has a son who is traveling with her who is young, probably 12.
And why are they traveling? What are they doing?
That you're probably not going to find in the library, but you would probably know that it's an expedition to another continent. Probably just either set up trade arrangements, or if that doesn't go very well, make it their own territory. Take what's his name? What's the stand-up comedian who was in Ocean's 11? He played the fixer that helped him. They had to bring in.
Elliot Gould?
No, the comedian.
So somebody who's funny.
Yes. Anyway, he said how the British used to go around with their crafty use of flags.
Oh,
I can't think of his name.
God, the crossdresser.
Yes.
Eddie Izzard.
Eddie Izzard. That's it.
God, that took me a while.
Ocean's 11?
Yeah, he was in Ocean's
Yeah.
12.
Thank
No,
you.
He was in 12, not 11.
Either
Oh,
way.
you're right. It was
No.
12. It was 12.
I stopped.
He's the one that helps him with the.
Chris was getting angry about
like,
that one.
I know
You
that
do
movie
not
really well.
ever say.
No, he was in 13. 12 was the shitty one.
The European one.
Okay, yes.
13 is the one with what's his name and the diamond, all the diamond necklaces.
Oh, yeah.
Spoilers.
Yeah.
It's got to be 15 years old.
That was awesome. You totally went with spoilers on that one. That was the best.
What was it? Like Ellen Barkin?
Yes, she's in
Ellen
it. Yes.
Barkin, right. And Matt Damon had this terrible prosthetic
was a
thing with the nose.
He
I've never seen that movie.
preys on women of a certain age.
I only just saw A Christmas Story. I finally watched it recently.
really?
And was it just going to live up to the hype?
If I'd have watched it back when it came out, I
Yeah.
would have adored it.
Yeah.
But it was a little on the... I mean, it was cute.
Yeah.
It was. I absolutely understand the adoration.
I mean, I didn't see it till well into adulthood either,
Yeah.
and I was like, oh.
It's actually a well-directed comedy.
Yes.
And there aren't a lot of
And
well-directed comedies these days.
the thing I noticed about it was very much a product of its time.
Oh, yeah.
Like it was very much because it had the whole vignette thing going, like in the when the kids are being chased by Scut, like
But it leads
as
into,
like the
it leads into those tropes, too. It's
Oh, yeah.
non-apologetic.
like absolutely.
So, anyway, Not fun.
Sort of like
How did
Eddie
we
Izzard.
run to Eddie Izzard?
Oh, I don't know why I brought that up.
He was trying to come up with.
Oh,
Like
that,
who
that
would-
she,
yeah.
When
They're doing the-
heir is
yeah.
either trying to trade negotiations or through the cunning use of flags is going to make their territory.
Cunning use of flags. Okay, I'm writing a cunning use
That's
of
what
flags.
Eddie. That's
Look under the Eddie
I
Izzard
think
bit,
that's the
yeah.
term Eddie Izzard used was the cunning use of flags.
Cutting some flags, and I'm sure it's in his stand-up.
Oh, it is.
Right.
He talks about how
I've
like
seen him
colonialism.
stand
Yeah,
up. It was very good.
he's
did you see
hilarious.
Oh,
That
okay.
guy's
Fantastic.
brilliant.
Yeah, very smart.
Oh.
And knows his history.
I
Cake
think
or death.
she now. I think Eddie uses she, her.
Oh, it's not they? I thought they were there.
I do not know.
It may very well be
I
she.
feel there was a pronoun shift, and I don't know if it was she or they.
I think they spent a lot of time trying to figure out where they were landing. Because for the longest time, he was just transvestite. He
Right.
was just cross-dressing.
Yes.
According to according to Google, either.
No? Go him, her, them.
Just talked about
Jesus.
this.
It really is kind of tough. I have a nibbling, two of them who are, one is non-binary and the other is, I guess, also non-binary. But it's tough because Nora and I will talk about the cousin.
Language is deeply entrenched in how we think,
Yeah.
and it is how we organize memories. It's deeply rooted in our
Yep.
entire consciousness, and it's hard to change.
It is
hard
a
to
lot more
change.
difficult than I expected. I thought I was like, Mr. Yeah, look at me. I can do it. I know what the kids are into these days.
Now I know what everybody felt like we're between Chaucer and Shakespeare with the great vowel shift, and people just didn't know how to communicate anymore. I now have an inkling.
or when some asshole decided to make a dictionary.
Right?
Why can't I spell the way I want?
Wanted. Bastards. Yep.
I still scream.
I just imagine the guy sitting there writing out. I was like, "Oh, fuck with all these people."
Taking away my freedom.
So screw these hippies. It's like color, COLOR. Fuck you.
With the fuck you.
Fuck
Use
you.
Oh
you.
no! I'm going to make it spelled differently depending where you were born.
I blame the English.
You might as well.
Superfluous
Clever
use
use.
of flags and use. All right. So yeah, but she's doing something that has to do with trade or
Okay.
Diplomacy. She's being a diplomat.
Yes.
And was I able to find another list of
The
the
closest
family
relatives beyond that, the previous now deceased emperor did not have was an only child. So there are no like uncles.
Okay.
But you go up a generation and
There's great
like
uncles.
like dad and mom had brothers and sisters, so he's got cousins, and the cousins are the people who seem to be now they have the last you heard, which would have been what she had heard, because they would have mentioned it to you, is that they still have not been able to locate her.
Now, the cousins, where were they? Were they in the town?
No,
In the main
like
city?
other area. Here, let me see the map real quick, or a copy. There's two copies.
There you go. Eh.
And were these cousins related? I guess you'll tell me in a minute.
Well, they're related. Yeah,
So
they
they
all
were
have
like,
royal blood.
No, what I mean is, were they like the same, like in the same household, or were they scattered across the country?
No, they're members. They're like heads of other provinces, which happens because you like
Right,
to
okay.
get those people out there married, so you have because you're not going to go.
So
try
in
to
other words,
depose
okay.
family. Like Crenolus, probably this one here, and probably Carid.
Endless and okay.
Carrot, is that it?
Where's Carrot?
It's like just below the blighted lands. You're up a little, just a little north. There you go.
Ah, Carrot. Carrot.
So,
It's a carrot.
so again, two distinctly distant places, not close to each other. So obviously they gated in and did the same thing here, which also takes planning.
Well, I mean, I'm not there.
Well, there's
I cannot.
there's a distinction she mentioned. They don't know how the blood got out of them. They just noticed
They don't have.
there's
blood.
not enough blood in these bodies.
Yeah.
There's
No
no openings
wounds,
anywhere.
no
There
nothing.
was on the Emperor.
Are there skipping
His
mirrors in
necklace.
those two towns?
Probably. And those are the two that they know of. There are a couple other. There's probably like two other cousins. And then you have to start getting back more and more generations where the bloodline is so diluted that in order to install one of those people, you're going to have civil war anyway.
Now, who's in charge of Amana, and what relation would he be to the Emperor?
She's
Sorry.
She's a duchess. And she is unmarried. Currently, there are murmurings of the Duke of Eldemy and the Duchess of Amana getting married. And of course the Emperor, in quotes because he's dead, opposes that union.
Who's the Duke of Eldemy right now? Is that the son? That's
Elkis, probably
okay.
3. Elkis the third.
Okay. But he's still alive? Hasn't been exsanguinated? Well, we don't know.
They're not related.
Okay.
They're not.
Okay.
But if that wedding takes place, that would irritate the imperial capital, because it's like, okay,
Because it makes the region too powerful?
That's yes. It could create a house that rivals the power of the imperial family.
Mm-hmm.
So is there a motive there? I'm looking for motives.
Yeah, I mean, the Emperor was opposed to this union, and this would create a very strong area.
Sorry I don't put a star next to it. It could be a possible motive for...
Motive? A question mark.
And some of the more powerful people in town.
In this town or in Amana?
In Amana. I'm probably making you make shit up on the spot. I'm sorry.
I was already doing that while you guys were talking.
I'm trying to come up with motives. And
I mean, if you
possible
took the
people
improv
that-
class, it shouldn't be a
Just trying to
problem.
find a clue, someone we can talk to. Using the skill set I have, which is mostly research and recon. Technically, I should be doing what you're doing, but
Okay.
You'll stick out like a sore thumb.
yeah.
The court mage at Amana is a sage wallow. Her name is Cillian, Sillian. And then Vardin is like one of the major merchants of that. It has a presence in Ecohosmert and in Amana, and probably in other places too.
Is Varda in Amana right now, or is
Vardin
in
is based in
Ecohosmert?
Amana.
Okay.
Yes.
Is there a list of Tennisil mages in Amana? Since the library I'm in is a Tennisil mage, I'm a Tennisil mage.
Trevisail.
Trevisail, I'm sorry.
Well, there's probably. I'm sure there's a contact.
Yeah.
At least that you can probably find writings.
You don't have to give me his name now, but I mean,
Yes, there is one there.
There's somebody I need to go at least
There's at least one
meet
there.
with.
Yes.
Are there any of the Emperor's distant cousin relations in Ecohosmert?
No.
Okay.
Do you want to see if there's anyone from your house in town there too that you can meet up with?
Oh, sure.
Like
Well, nice to meet with the
anybody
sea.
that lives there that we can talk to, is a possible clue to who these people are, and maybe even a possible end to the castle itself.
Okay. What is the name of my... It starts with a C. I know that.
I will look that up.
Look at this real quick.
A fish called Wanda?
Yes.
Yes.
Kittens.
Castigan?
Oh no, kittens coming.
Oh no, Kittens coming to kill me.
Are there any other Castigan mages around here?
I'm trying to remember who they are. In the city, probably not. Most of them tend to kind of associate themselves in more outlying areas. There probably is one. Well, yeah. Do you have either of you have research
Nope.
or something like it?
Nope. I have incurious.
I know it's so interesting that I'm on this murder mystery. I'm like, I don't care.
It's just a skill. Just make an IQ roll.
Okay. I don't remember how to do that. It's been so long.
3 dice.
All right. See, it's just, I told you it's been a really long time.
It's really a real simple game with 2 dice.
Oh, shut up.
That's like travel.
13.
No, 12.
Oh, it's 5. I thought it was.
And my IQ was
Okay, all right. So you made it by 1. Yeah, there is one that has sort of adopted, because like all of these cities, they have the big wall and the main part of the city, but then of course it always bleeds out. So there is a Castigan mage who's sort of one of the
Holy Martial Order?
member of the Holy Martial Order that sort of adopted the sort of southern area.
I have to pull up the wiki so I can read this because
who's basically kind of adopted like this the part of the town that's outside of the wall that's south, and those farm areas around there.
Okay.
He kind of protects the area and helps them out when he can.
well, I'd like to chat with him if we get a chance.
Okay. I gotta use the restroom real quick. I'll be right back. Talk amongst yourselves, please. Oh, you do find. Let me just say before I do that, you find there is an area again just outside of the wall. You find a tavern where you see a lot of the sort of outdoorsy sorts of people like you tend to hang out. The outside of the city is safer than the inside of the city.
Yeah.
That is fairly clear.
Yeah.
From what you're walking around, and the seediest part of the area is, of course, by the docks.
Got it.
And that is an area.
Oh, yeah, we are on the water, aren't we?
Yes, we
Yes, and the people that you see wandering around and sort of by the docks are not the sort of people to be fucked with. They tend to be big, or they look extremely dangerous, or unstable.
Oh, good.
So, I had to use the restroom.
Of course.
Talk amongst yourselves.
Okay.
Leave the air undead.
You're not there.
Right.
She's not there. So I can't talk to anybody about stuff in game. But
I found the acting very.
presentational.
It was very like it was super like sitcom-y, which I found interesting. Like everybody was very like McGavin was very like. Hey,
Well,
woohoo.
but again, they're characters in a story that the narrator is actually telling.
Yeah, and that's
it's-
what I think. That's the big appeal, and that's I think.
And there's even
I
weird
found
little
the charm.
flashbacks, like
yeah.
with the teacher becoming a witch, because
Yeah.
in many ways the whole thing is set up as from a child's point of
Yeah,
view.
exactly.
So everything is bigger and larger than
Yeah.
it should be. Even the bar of soap is.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I love that scene. And when she tries it out, just like. But yeah, I mean, I understand the appeal, and I understand the overall charm. I understand why TBS does 24 hours of it every
but
year.
It's a really well designed
Yeah.
comedy, and it's a well directed comedy.
It's
just
fun.
Not a lot of well directed comedies out there.
Yeah, it's fun, but like the big thought at the end of it was, okay, I watched it, and like because my brother was like, oh, why how have you not? What? I don't know. I have like my patterns. Like I watch all the varieties of Christmas Carol I can, because I love like the 1938 version, the 1950s Alistair Sim version. I love the George C. Scott version.
Love it.
Of course, the Muppets. Actually, the new one that just came out a couple of years ago with Guy Pearce was remarkably well
You
done.
can skip Scrooge though.
I can,
Yeah.
and only because
Bill Murray's
as much as I like some of his stuff, like I think he's one of those actors who's kind of overrated in terms of his generation of comedians. Like I love Stripes, but beyond that, I'm like it's the same shtick. Like even in Ghostbusters, Ghostbusters for me was about Harold Ramis and Sigourney Weaver, and Rick Moranis is brilliant in that movie. But outside, it's like there's things where I'm like, Bill Murray, he was great in Zombieland because he was playing like this super like
In Scrooge, he's cruel.
Yeah.
And he's not just mean.
yeah
And it's not much of a redemption arc for him.
Yeah.
Eventually he doesn't turn into a nice guy really at the end.
Exactly.
I'm not buying it.
yeah. You know,
It's like he's doing it through gritted teeth almost at the end.
oh yeah. Well, and I think I mean I think that's it's like Groundhog Day.
Yeah.
Like it's literally a story of redemption, but you always feel like he's just kind of just there. Like, do you ever watch do you remember the Henry Winkler An American Christmas Carol? Holy crap!
Maybe. Yeah.
It was like a TV movie.
Yeah.
And it was one of the best variants of the Christmas Carol that I'd ever watched.
Muppet Christmas Carol is exceptionally
It's
good.
exceptionally good.
It really is. It shouldn't be that good. So is Muppet Treasure Island.
Well, I mean, back then it was still, Jim Henson, like, and it was his wit that created all of that. You know, it was his way of like, his worldview, really, the way he saw like everything with whimsy. Like if you watch his old like,
We're talking movies because none of
Because
us
none of us
in
are
the same
together.
room together. There's nothing we can talk about. Oh.
it's like watching his old coffee commercials when he first got into the industry. You're like, I would buy coffee because this puppet was about to shoot the other. Like it's funny as hell, and that alone
Don't
would.
get me
Like,
started on the genius of Jim Henson.
oh, he's
And even the George C. Scott is pretty good.
he's so good.
Anyway, sorry, we went down the rabbit hole of Christmas movies.
So you're
Gonna talk to some of my fellow woodsmen.
okay. All right.
Look and see. This gonna sound. I don't know how to describe this other than I want to ask. I want to find like the diciest looking one. That's not so dicey that I think he's gonna kill me.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like somebody who knows. Like he sells stuff he finds off the back of that fell off the back of the wagon,
Right. Okay.
but not somebody who like killed the guy driving the wagon to get the stuff off the back of the wagon.
Got it.
You know
Okay.
what I mean?
Yes. Okay. You can find someone like that easily.
An opportunist,
Exactly.
not an actual burglar.
Because they're gonna know. Because they'll know more than you know. Because they're scoping out the scene. They're constantly working.
Cold. It's very cold.
Yeah, I've left my jacket in the car.
Is it still cold? I can turn the heat up.
It's a little bit chilly.
Like I'm wearing a book on my lap as a kind of blanket
Oh,
because my thighs are
oh
cold.
no!
It'd be warmer if you burn it.
Sorry.
San Pellegrino.
So, yeah, you're there. She's there. Yeah.
Well,
we-
I don't know if it's. I mean, I do want to go talk to the casting and mage. I don't know if I should go by myself. Or
Well,
can
yeah,
I
you
just-
are kind of carrying a lot of dough.
Yeah.
Well, I'm assuming that in this palace is probably the safest place, and it's probably even the palace probably isn't that safe, but I'm assuming it's the safest place to be.
I mean, the whole place seems kind of has
Dodgy.
a vibe.
Yeah, and even the
And Dostomir probably, when he gave it to you, he probably said, "Don't let anyone know you." Anyone. Like not
Especially
even
now-
like the Baron and Ikoha Smirk.
I have truthfulness and honesty.
but you can't have a robber baron without
Well, if he
that.
asks you, you're probably going to say something then.
He might
What's in the bag?
He might actually put.
I'd
the
have to
robber.
roll.
So, yeah, okay.
But could I wear it like on my person? Let's just sort of like
Yes.
okay,
Yeah.
as opposed to like just in a bag that somebody can grab.
But he probably gave it to you in some sort of a pouch or something. And you could. I mean, they're gold coins, but they're probably like the size of like a quarter.
So like a reasonable size.
It's like 75 of those.
It's like a reasonably sized dice bag.
Yeah.
Pouch.
Yeah.
It's not a briefcase.
I'm like just wondering if I could sew it into my clothing or something.
Yeah, you could. If you
That was a
want to.
terrible disappointment finding out how much money
Maybe
you
like
can
wearing a
fit in a
weighted vest. I'll
briefcase.
really build up my legs.
Like when they do the thing in the
Right.
movies and they show up, it's $1 million and it's a briefcase full of it. No, $1 million is like a quarter of that briefcase.
If it's hundreds.
Yeah,
Maybe
which is
it's
generally what they're
fives.
gonna. It's a super heavy briefcase because it's all nickels. It's rolls of nickels, rolls of nickels and loose pennies.
There's a deleted scene in one of the Austin Powers where they go on and on about the briefcase, which I don't know why they cut because it's so funny. It's funnier than the rest of the movie. Anyway.
I love those movies. Don't ever talk trash on those movies.
Okay, you find a guy who
Fits the bill?
Yeah.
Can I sit down? join you in a beer? Hell, I'll buy you a beer.
Of course, I've never turned down free beer.
So I order up a beer.
Okay.
Introduce myself. Say, Dale O'Dell.
My name is Gilder.
Gilder. Nice to meet you, Gilder. You from around here?
Yes.
Oh,
I was born up in the farmlands near Through.
Oh, well, nice. Through a lovely area. Lovely area. Nothing wrong with that area at all. Ever. I've seen nice places, and that's one of them.
Used to be.
That's a lot of niceness out there. So
Change
I
subject.
myself found it rather boring.
well, that's why we
Not
look for the
anymore.
life that we do. Say, I'm here from out of town, and I'm here with some friends, and we're looking for some information, and I'm wondering if you could help me.
That depends on what the information is.
Not to put too fine a point on it, we're looking for someone who killed someone else.
Ah, that's dangerous information.
Yes, and I pull out 10 coins,
Okay.
and I set them, and I say, I don't have a lot, but I do need the help. And I slide over it.
Who is it you are looking for, and who is it they killed?
It's a man of power that was killed in a very odd way.
Short conversation.
And he says, "How powerful?"
Let's say they're top of the ladder. And it's, I think the thing that's bothering us, these compatriots of mine and I, is this kind of thing, intrigue happens. It's how he was killed. He,
If someone so powerful died, I would imagine news would have reached us by now.
one would imagine. I think it has to do with the how thing.
Ah,
Because he was left with no blood. It's like somebody stole his blood.
like they just drained it out of him.
That's what it looked like. It wasn't a pretty scene. I didn't like it at all. But there again, I was inside of a city, inside of a castle. Like, there's
Yeah.
this, whoa. What we're looking for is a who and a why. And I'm wondering,
Do you have I can't. The why I cannot help you with. The who I might. What do you have a description?
oh, we do, don't we?
Yeah, I think you. I
Kinda,
think all of you
we-
were able to see the scene, weren't they, Storkus?
If you're going to describe the Emperor, everyone knows what the Emperor
No,
looks
no.
like.
No, he's not
The
asking about the emperor. He's asking about the three people.
Three people.
There was two older guys and a younger guy.
And one of them has a staff with a green gem in it.
I
The younger guy died.
described that.
So
Oh,
it's
yeah.
the two mages that are left. One was just in dark robes we didn't know about. The one distinguishing feature was the older mage.
Yes, yeah.
Had a staff with a glowing
He
green
seemed to be the
stone.
one ordering everyone around too.
They look like those guys that cast spells and things. He had a staff with a green stone on it. We didn't get a great look at their faces, though.
I do remember seeing a pair of mages coming through here. Perhaps, well, I'm trying to remember how many days have gone by. Maybe 4 days ago, I'm going to say.
Did they happen?
And I do remember one of them had a rather large emerald on. One notices things like this on his staff, embedded in it.
Did they look like they were traveling or arriving?
They were.
If that makes sense.
They came from through,
Okay.
and they were in a hurry. They came in. I believe they stayed here, and they said they were heading to Amana. They spent the night, and they were gone. I get up usually an hour before dawn, anyway. And they
Early
were-
bird gets the worm.
Exactly. And they were, in fact, practically prepared to leave when I emerged from my room. They were not letting any grass grow under their feet.
And it was just the two of them.
It was just the two of them. They came on horseback. They threw around money like it meant nothing. I do
Well,
remember that.
Sure, their expenses are good. How far is Amman from here? I'm not familiar with this side of the continent.
About 4 days. So it's directly south. Keep the ocean on your right. You can't miss it.
Right. And I slide the coin back over and I say, I appreciate your help.
No,
We always have expenses, even in our life. So
that is true. I agree.
I appreciate your help. Were they carrying anything on, like a giant bag or like a wineskin or
They
anything
had,
like that?
one of them had a wineskin, and the reason I noticed it is it's unusual to bring your own wine to someone else's tavern. But he never drank out of it.
I would hope not. It could be filled with pee or something. I don't know. Well, why would you carry something like that? Maybe he's incontinent. The guy's the only way he doesn't like peeing in the woods. No, I don't know. Again, thank you for your work, for your help.
Of course.
Hopefully we'll run into each other again.
Indeed.
Finish my beer and
Okay.
go back to the inn, or not the inn, the Baron's house.
That manor house.
Yeah, the manor house, so I can meet up with these guys.
Okay.
Dale, how you doing?
Oh, so somebody saw them. They saw them 4 days ago. They're probably in Amana now.
Oh,
Wait a minute. So you're going to give us the details?
Yeah, I give you all the details that he told me.
Well, that's very interesting. Because I assumed that they gated directly to Amana. It sounds to me like they gated either to through, or they used the skipping mirror on the mountain and came down the mountain and made it to through.
yeah, and then they were up to no good and through.
But if they made it through the skipping mirror, which is not unguarded, somebody let them through. Two through, no pun intended. Or, if they did appear in through, that might explain why the veil was so thin where I was.
Oh, yeah.
It's entirely possible that their presence there was, that's where they reapparated from when they
Disappeared.
Now, and 4 days, so we're like literally like a day behind them. Or we were. He said it was 4 days ago that they came through. And it's
I want to say they were the events that happened in the Citadel happened 2 days prior, I believe.
Okay.
Is that correct? I think it had happened 2 days prior.
Yeah, it's not been that long since we saw
Right.
since we
And
went
you-
to
and-
the scene.
And you basically got kind of missed 2 days with the sort of
we
issue
camped in the
and
woods
through.
at the base of the mountain. That's another day. Then we stayed in through.
2 days.
It's another day, so that's 4 days.
So that would put them 4 days ahead of you. I think I got the math right.
I'm just trying. Because if we're a day behind them, that means they have horses. So they came into. The evidence is pointing that they came either into the skipping mirror or they came into through. Somebody helped them, and they were able to get horses, and then they're continued riding through here. That's 4 days ago. So it's really interesting to me that they didn't go directly to
Just
the town.
went from the skipping mirror, or took the skipping mirror to.
How
the
could they
thing.
take the skipping mirror? It's guarded by the Emperor's men.
Well, that makes sense. Yeah.
Well, they could use another skipping mirror. They just you would need to have possession of the orb that is tied to the skipping mirror at Cordo Mountain in the Watch Cave. You'd need to have, and that's unique.
But there's people in that cave.
Yes.
So if you come through that mirror, people will see you.
There's a
In
high,
fact-
high likelihood,
In fact,
but not
They were
necessarily.
going to shoot us if we come back without.
Well, they won't let you through it.
'Kay.
Yeah.
So there, you can travel into that space with little or no problem.
The way that here's the way skipping mirrors work, just because this is they're not super common, but this is common knowledge.
common
for-
enough.
Yeah. each mirror has like its own sort of magical signature, or whatever you want to call it. Right. And you can, if you're present in front of the orb and you know the magic that makes the orbs, you can sit in front of a mirror and make an orb that will tie to that mirror. Then you travel 1,000 miles somewhere else and find any other mirror you want. Plop that orb in that mirror, and it will immediately connect it to the mirror where you made that orb.
So it's not the mirror; it's the orb that generates the magical power that you use.
The mirrors themselves are sort of like a create sort of a magical network,
Right.
and the orbs tell you which IP address you're going to go to.
Okay.
Basically, that's kind of.
Here's my sticking point. They had to walk out of that mirror to a room full of guards, and
Right.
nobody said anything.
However, right, and I understand what you're saying, but if you have that key and you can access from point A to point mountaintop, what is the likelihood, and this might be a little meta, but what is the likelihood that the guards on the other end of a tunnel, a ley line, would be like, oh, who halts coming out of the mirror, knowing that you have the access on the other side? Does that make sense?
Probably from your guys' reaction, well, the reaction you got when you came through is because it wasn't like, oh my God, grab the weapons and hold them here. It was more like, oh, someone's come through the mirror. It must be someone important.
Right, and they
because you had access to it.
And they have livery, right? They were uniformed, weren't they? They had.
No, they were just wearing dark robes.
They're mages.
So mages
come and go. It seems
would
this
be
mirror.
reasonable to think that would be the case.
And or it's somebody who's come and gone through there before and was recognized enough that he wasn't really.
Well, if you're casing a place, you're gonna
or if you're powerful enough that you've traveled it before, used it before, the guards could at least.
Exactly.
So we might be dealing with a mage who is high up enough that
and known enough.
He also has access to one of these orbs, so he's either made it or somebody has given it to him for this purpose. If we're assuming he took the skipping mirror, he also met with somebody who gave him horses.
Right.
Unless they stabled them at the base of the mountain, went up, did their thing, came back and picked them up again. But I'm going to say it was a couple of days. Was it a couple of days between the death and...
It was like 2 days.
Yeah.
I think it was like 2 days.
But it's reasonable to say that you can go to a stable and purchase or rent horses.
Sure.
There's horses to let usually.
It's very unfortunate that we were in through and didn't ask all the right questions, because it sounds to me like they were there
just before us.
Just before us and after us.
I don't think I have enough money to buy a horse. I was trying to check, but I don't have
You have enough money
You have
to
enough
buy all
money
the
to
horses
I'm not going to use it for
in
myself.
all of Eldemy.
How dare you
Just
suggest
consider it a little bit of a loan.
No, it's
You can-
not my money.
You can put it back later.
I gave the money to just the right person.
Oh yeah, I gotta mark that. Speaking.
Would
of.
not dream of it.
Is that a lot? $10?
I don't know. You'd have to ask Stu how the economy in Eldemy works. I think it sounds to me
It's
like
a penny.
So it's 10 cents.
I'm sorry, what were you asking?
The $10 I gave him. It's 10 pennies.
10
I gave him
pennies.
10 cents.
Yes.
Is that
But
why he
that's-
was like?
That's not an insignificant amount of money.
Well, yeah. You consider things like, what's a good one?
I mean, it's going to buy several meals.
Yeah. Like, the spider cord cost me $10. You know, the giant spider cord when I buy it for my climbing purposes, because
Right.
I climb, because I'm a forest guy and I need rope to climb, and that's strong stuff. It's light because I can carry it with me.
Exactly.
$10.
Yeah.
So, back to the info at hand. Should we go back to through? And there's a whole army there, and
And the people aren't there.
And the
the
people
people
aren't there.
evacuated.
Well, I think we need to keep going to
Yeah.
get them.
All right. Do you think we should we charter a boat with some of our newfound money? And
It's not our money.
But it's for us to use. And I think in terms of the investigation, if we could charter a small boat to get us, do you think that will be quicker than taking the road?
It's 4 days on road.
It probably will shave a day off if you took the boat.
I am not comfortable with that.
With spending
You don't like
money
the
or taking a
ocean?
boat?
I just don't think we should use the money that doesn't belong to us for ourselves.
What were the words that he said to you when he gave you the money?
Quote, "It is becoming difficult to control the information around the emperor and the problem with succession. I don't know how much longer the government will be able to function, but whatever replaces this government can't, in capital letters, be the people who perpetrated this conspiracy. Please use this to ensure that."
So
Maybe it's an expense account.
it is. You know, in order to us to ensure this, we need to get to this town, so we might be able to spend. And it's not talking an entire imperial crown. I'm talking 10 gold pieces. To
All
charter
right,
a
but we're
small
doing
boat.
it on a budget, all right? And
All
I'm
right,
keeping
just-
detailed accounts.
Yes, you should.
No, and remember, every gold piece you have is equivalent to $1,000.
How am I going to change that in this sketchy little town without asking people asking questions?
Or not.
Well, you can probably change one
Okay.
without people asking questions. And it probably is only going to cost you, I don't know, probably to be on a boat. If you're at private cabin, probably would cost you probably like 8 pennies.
Well, I'm assuming, because there's 2 rivers here, that there is a fairly
Oh yeah,
significant amount of trade that goes
Sure.
up and down between the 2 cities
Yeah.
via the water and up and down the river. So I figured we could just charter one of those, and if it takes a day or two,
$100 would get you all to Amana on a boat
perfect.
in relative comfort. If you want to be more frugal with it, we can talk. You can totally be more frugal.
Well, I think we should be more frugal. with it,
We should,
personally.
but I also want to be safe. Because if we get the dodgiest tramp freighter,
Oh, yeah,
we
okay,
may
I
end
am
up
carrying something
not
kinda
even making it to
valuable. I see your point.
Smart.
All right.
I don't want a pleasure yacht, but I also don't think that. I also would like to get to our destination without getting turned into fish food.
Or drown.
Fair enough. I'll allow it.
Okay.
So the list of people who have enough money to hire wizards in the town of Amana. Did I find that? All the Bill Gateses?
Oh, you have it. You can get a list. I mean, it's mostly going to be merchants, and well, the Duchess probably.
Okay. You don't need to give me a list of names. I just want to make sure that I have a list of these people. I just need.
That's why I gave you pretty much like
Okay.
the wealthiest merchant in Amana.
Okay.
Florida.
Yeah, that pretty much takes all day then for me to do that. So do we want to? Are we waiting around for Dostomir? And did you want to go talk to your school?
Well, we're not. Wait, Dostomir's not coming.
Okay.
He has no immediate plans. We might want to wait for, Beagle.
I thought he said he might come here on his own if he had time.
He said, or send a message. He did say
Oh,
he would
yeah.
either send a message or.
That's true. Dostomir did said he would send word or come himself. I forgot that part. Yeah. Well, we haven't gotten word. And we certainly don't have Dostomir.
Right. I think maybe we can hang out one more day. Time is of the essence, I think. So
It really is.
I don't.
I mean, they're ahead of us.
They are, and here's the other thing that's interesting. They technically have maybe just made it to town. If it's a 3-day ride, you said, and they're 4 days ahead of us. So they've been in town. They've been in Amara for
A day,
A
probably.
day, and these cousins have already gotten killed. So one of 2 things have happened. They either regrouped and went out and killed these 2 cousins, or some other entity or group of wizards went out and did it. So there might be another assault team of wizards also working.
It would make sense if they're trying to do any of the things we think they're trying to do, whether it's disable the government, summon an elder god, bring about the end times. The
Or all
more
of it.
people, or all of them, the more people they have involved, the easier it's going to be for them to do.
The one sticking point that I'm not forgetting is that these 2 cousins don't have any visible wounds on them. So I'm thinking something exsanguinated them, not someone. I think it's quite likely that something else got summoned and is, because they're using the Emperor's blood, is tracking Emperor's kin.
Maybe. I mean, I'm not huge on magic, so
I don't know enough about it either,
yeah.
but that's my only thought, is that like a bloodhound, this thing will track down relations of the Emperor and take them out.
I mean, a house did try to eat me, so I'm not putting anything out of, there's the realm of possibility, the scope of what I believe or don't believe is, I mean, it isn't gigantically, it's not a huge leap forward, but
it means to me that they're moving very quickly. It means
Yeah.
that they got into town and within a day summoned something that was able to go and track down and take out the candle, unless something else is working
kind
independently.
of begs the question just how powerful this guy is.
Very. The fact that they were able to gate in and out of there as quickly as they did, that takes an enormous amount of magic. Now, I know that his Power Stone and his staff can help with that, but it's not unlimited either.
That Power Stone probably has the equivalent of 100 magic points. I mean, it's significant.
Yeah, but gating is like 30 points in one gate or something.
A teleport.
Okay. I think it's distance related, isn't it?
It is. It is.
Which would explain why he didn't go all the way to Milano, I suppose.
But now you at least suspect that he didn't go directly from the Citadel to Ikoha Smurt.
Right.
He ended up using the skipping mirror, so... Or probably.
Yes. So instead of 30, in metagaming, instead of 30 points, he used 10.
Well, I mean, it would explain
Yeah.
that he...
Yeah.
That they at least went through some effort to conserve how much magic they're using.
Also, it means that he has a key to skipping mirrors in other towns, at least to this one and, what is it, that one?
Carrot and Cronalis?
Cronalis and Carrot.
Or something does. I don't know what killed them. It could be a mist. It could be a small vampiric creature. It could have been them. That's not my worry right now. My worry is how quickly they're acting and things are happening. So,
Well, I think
time is
that's
of
the
the
focus,
essence.
yeah.
Okay, well, you want to leave without waiting for Dostomir's word?
No, I'm torn. That's why I'm asking you. Should we hang out for another day, or do we want to try to?
I think we should go after them.
You do? Well,
I think we should, the longer we delay getting to them, the more time we give them to enact their dastardly deed.
I'll just leave a message here that he can send word to us at the. I'm just going to say
Well.
the name of of my school that's in that town. But you didn't give me the name.
I didn't give you the name
It,
yet,
it
yes.
doesn't really matter, but
Okay.
I'll just leave that forwarding address.
Okay.
okay.
You can leave it probably with the butler or one of the household staff who will make sure that whatever message comes through gets sent.
Yeah. Anything interesting in this study? Anything else interesting in this study?
But he's got a box of orbs for skipping mirrors.
Are they labeled?
They are not. But each one is different. Each one, like, one of them has, like, black and blue smoke inside of it. Another one has, like, yellow and orange smoke inside of it.
Given that I have come from the family who made those things, do I have any kind of inside knowledge about them?
You could. I will allow you to make like a IQ plus majory minus. No, really, it's kind of hard to know.
Okay.
You would need to basically find somewhere he probably has written down which one's which.
And that's just the easier way to go about this.
Yes. So you can just like kind of rifle through his shit until you find this is a regular IQ roll for that.
No.
How much did you miss by?
2.
Oh, okay. Well, obviously, would have kept this in someplace very secure. So it's either not here, or if it is here, it's hidden very well.
Yep. If this is happening before I come back to meet up with them?
Probably after you come back, I would imagine.
No, you've already told us what you found out from the guy.
Let me do a detect traps to see if I can find a
Okay.
secure spot.
Sure.
Gonna be my IQ plus 1. Oh man, that's just wickedly high IQ. Oh, hey, I got it with 2 points.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's 2, 3, 9, and I needed 11.
Okay. There's like a false bottom underneath in one of the drawers in one of the
Let's open up that false bottom.
cupboard.
Bottom.
It's false bottom. It's a falsy.
I moved the false bottom over.
Okay. And you find there's a piece of parchment that says red with yellow, so and so, da 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 da, blah blah blah, blah 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 blah.
So this might be the thing.
Oh, it's the thing. We have a list of what all
The
the
real
or-
question is, do false bottom
Don't do it. Stab you in the
chests
neck.
make the Brockham Eldemy? There's a joke in here somewhere. I can make it work.
So yeah, and one of the orbs does in fact go to a skipping mirror inside the ducal residence in Amana.
Oh.
Well, that will certainly save time for us getting there. In fact, we might even
and money.
and money, but it takes us right into the Duke's palace, which may or may not be.
Duchess's palace.
I keep doing that. I apologize. There's a lot to keep track of in this
Yes.
aged brain of mine. I think we should use it.
Well, here's a question. This list. So basically, this guy has one for like every town. Like as we look at the list, can we tell?
He's got like 6 of them.
Okay.
What?
Are any missing?
No.
Okay.
Well, it
He might
doesn't
be
seem
using
like-
one. Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like it. One of them goes to the library at Treviso.
That would be handy. In fact, once I find that out, is the mirror in this office right here?
No, it's probably in a hallway, and there's probably guards in the room where the mirror is, because there's a danger that someone might come across something and try to invade, or
Steal an orb from the library.
Exactly.
Whatever do you
But I
mean?
mean, you have access to it.
Not sure what you're trying to insinuate.
Anyone with a long beard that carries a staff, they pretty much like, oh yeah, go ahead and you can use it, because they know.
Well, I'd really like to go to the library and research up some pact.
Is there one that goes to the capital city, the Imperial Citadel?
Yeah.
Yes, there is.
And it's there.
Oh, you know what? No, there is not one for that. That's a one-way thing.
Right. You don't want just people traipsing into the Emperor's palace.
Exactly. No. There might be one.
Is there a color designation on the list?
No.
Okay.
No,
So it's not. So
the
this
list
is
is
that's
an
like the high
inventory of what he's
security. Yeah,
got.
what he's got.
And one of them is, one of them probably goes to like another Trevisale's home in the
capital
The
city.
capital, so you can get close at least, but probably not the
Not direct.
no.
And
If
that's
there
not
is-
something they would probably write down. Now that I think about it.
right.
I'm going to take the one for the library and just start walking.
Okay. All right.
Phade.
I'll be back in a couple hours.
Oh.
Oh.
Wait here for me.
All right. Okay.
What's the name of the wizard office that I'm in? What's his name? I'm
I wrote it down.
Only because I'm going to need it in just a second when I confront the guards.
I did not write it down. I don't think you did.
I did not write it down.
I just have Baron's Court Mage's Library.
Stephanus.
Well,
So, I'm going to head to the mirror then.
Okay.
Well, that's
hair
like
on
the
this
You're
guy.
at Trevisale.
Yeah.
You have
Yeah.
rights to the library anyway.
That's what I'm saying.
Right. You probably have something you
I'm
wear.
going to flash my little badge to them
Exactly.
and say,
Your Costco cards.
Stephanus, my Stephanus is if they even ask me, I'm just going to flash the little thing and say, I'll be back in a
Yeah.
couple hours.
Yeah, they'll let you do that.
So I'm going to pop into the library then.
Okay. Boo! You are now the big, vast. Well, you're probably in a room again, probably with guards, and they see you. You show them your amulet or whatever, and then they open the door, and then you're in the vastness of the Trevisale Library.
Have I ever been here before?
Maybe. I'm sure you have.
I'm going to cut to the chase. I want to find the master librarian, or at least every librarian.
You find a librarian.
And
sure.
I'm like, I need as much information as you can give me on pack magic brought to this table right here. And I also need to know if I can get a map of Amana and a map of the Mana's castle. Time is of the essence.
He leads you to a stairwell and takes you down like 3 flights of stairs, and goes over and opens a door, and there's a bunch of books, and there's like 2 tables with chairs. There's no one in here. He goes about lighting lamps for you and says, that section there is section on packed magic.
You know this much better than I. Can you get me the one that has the general?
We aren't the help, sir. We are librarians.
I hate this place. All right. Fine.
When you've finished with this field of research, I will gladly take you to the map room.
Thank you.
And what was the third thing you wanted? Was there 3 or 2?
There was just 2.
Okay. He says there's a rope.
3 things, but they're both 2 of them are maps.
There's a rope in the corner. He says, pull on the rope, and one of the librarians will be down here shortly.
All right. Well, I guess I'll find the.
You rag.
I guess I'll find the oldest, gnarliest book on pack magic that I can.
Okay.
And we'll start with that one.
All right.
I don't know if I have the research skill, because I think I actually had it at one point, but in the effort of shaving skills,
You got rid of
tossed
that
it.
one.
But I do have reading. Oh, I do have writing. Not reading. I have writing, and I have. Yeah, see, observation, which is just for watching people.
Make an IQ roll. Tell me how much you make it by. You know what? You can add magery to this since this is a magically based roll as well.
So add to it.
So add
my majory to my
your
intelligence.
intelligence, and then tell me how much you make it by, because I'm rolling a default skill here.
6. 11, 12, 14. I don't think it's here. My intelligence is 12.
Majory 3.
Majory 3.
15.
15. So I rolled a 14.
Okay, made it by 1. All right. Well, you're able to get some.
I don't have a lot of time.
Right. You're able to get some basic information on what pact magic is, and pact magic is basically trading with entities outside of the mortal world to do things for you.
Specifically, I want to find out what the use of the blood would be. I understand the generalities of pack magic, but I want to find out what the use, what they could do with this emperor's blood.
Blood of monarchs can be used to fuel all kinds of stupidly horrible kinds of spells. One of the things that's mentioned, like if you go in like the oldest, rattiest book in here, it will mention the fact that there is like a succession curse that mages can't cast it, but like winged ones, demons, angels, those sorts of things can do things with that blood and say, I want everyone who has this kind of blood, I want all of this sort of blood to disappear. And they could literally, using a sample of the imperial blood, make
Suck that
all
blood.
of the imperial blood go away. That's how powerful this magic is. The kind of stuff they can do with it is crazy. But you have to, A, find a demon who's willing to do it for you, and B, give them whatever it is they want to do that thing.
So the blood was actually just to be able to pull more blood out of his kin. There's still another pack that this demon needed that they detonated in order for the demon to do this.
The blood may have...
The original blood.
Part of the blood may have been used to get rid of the rest of the royal blood.
Right. And
But
part
the rest
might
of it might have been payment to do that. Because it doesn't list all of the stuff.
Sure.
You'd have to go through all of those books to find out all of the sorts of things. But apparently having a monarch's blood is extremely handy for any kind of magic that brings about political change. Let's say.
Right. And I need a map.
Either positive or negative change.
I was going to go see if I can get a map, but there's no way I can duplicate a map. That would take hours and hours and hours of drawing to duplicate maps of the castle and of the.
Well, I mean, it depends how detailed it needs to be.
Well, all right. Okay, when I'm done with that, I'm going to go to the map room. I'm going to see if I can
Get
get
a bong, boom,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna get you and bring you to the map room. So, but you do find out that there is all kinds of stuff that you can try to convince entities to do, but you need to summon them, and the thing is, and it's also a tricky thing to get the blood to them, because when they appear here, they're not in their real form. They're in sort of like an assumed form that is not actually them. So actually moving stuff from our realm to their realm is a little tricky.
Unless you have a tree that somewhere with the veil is really thin and you're able to cross over.
Just roll a 3d6 and tell me what number you get.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Okay. You find that there is that sort of black tar stuff that you found. It is one of many ways things from other realms try to insert themselves into the mortal realm.
One of the signs, or it's just
It is one of the methods.
Okay.
That stuff, and I mean, you're left with the impression that stuff was probably down there. You didn't make it. You may have triggered it with the spell misfire, but you didn't make it. It was there was already stuff going on.
you look positively puzzled.
Sorry, I'm trying not to chew in the mic.
Right.
I got some sugar, my sugar dropped in the Fortunately, Girl Scout candy.
Exactly.
I would like to. I know I can't make a map of the entire castle, but I would at least like to mark entrances and exits. I don't know if these maps have any secret information. No. But
In fact, you can get like in a map of Amana.
Mm-hmm.
You can probably get like an outline of what the ducal manor looks like.
But they don't have an actual map of it here.
You don't have a map of the inside.
Can I at least get a map of the servants' entrances?
Yeah,
And such?
yeah, entrances and stuff like that. You can that you can get, and you can just sort of scrawl that out on a piece of parchment and put in the little doors.
And then
Mix
I'll,
up a little
I'll
dungeon
go
map.
back to the main desk and said, "Do you happen to have a list of mages that are currently in Amana?
Trevisales? Or
We could start there, but all
no, we would not have that.
the list of the Travasel mages. In
Well, the
Amana?
ones that live there, we can give you
That would
a
be-
list.
That would be a good
Sure,
start.
certainly. In fact,
Is there a list of other mages' houses or other mages in their houses that are there, representatives of each house?
no, we don't keep track of. I mean, we keep track of. There are books here on other mage families,
No.
but we don't.
I
keep
just
track
want to
of
know
what
who
they are.
currently is in Amana that might.
That we can't tell you.
You might know this. An elderly mage with a large power stone green power stone staff. Has he been? Does that ring a bell? It's a bright green emerald. It's a pretty impressive staff.
No.
He's pretty elderly. It sounds like he's based in Amana, and he's pretty powerful. I can't imagine he would go unnoticed.
Have you checked the sort of peripheral family listings to see if
Where would those be?
follow me? It takes you to a upstairs 3 flights to another big room and says, "Here are these are the histories of the mage families, as the information that is known to the Trebisale."
It's a lot of books.
It is a lot of books.
I'm trying to find.
And it's alphabetized.
Perfect. I'm trying to find one specific mage who's currently living. Where would I start?
Do you know what family he belongs to?
No.
That
He's
makes
not Trevisail.
That isn't normally how we pare things down here.
If I were to guess, I would say that if he's anything. What was the rogue group? It was not the Sage. The rogue Trevisails. That was the Sage.
No, and then the Sage Wallow are the ones that tend to do
Right.
stuff.
Which are any of these? Which one are the gating ones? Is that the Omna?
That's hers.
It's me, Castigan.
the
We're nice
Castigans?
people.
Not the no. Who are the who are the Ormbos?
Arumbus?
Yeah.
Watcher mages specialize in knowledge and meta spells. A large, powerful mage family based in the capital. Good relations with other mage families will often temporarily take on mages of other families to help them hone their skills with meta
No,
magic. No,
it's not
that's
them.
not it.
They're too nice.
Okay.
Yeah.
Back to Fireworm. Dragons of myth and legend. Secretive of mage families, that sounds promising. Specializing in battle magic, they're the most dangerous mages in the Empire, but are also quite disciplined. Their origin is shrouded in secrecy, with rumors ranging from they might predate the Trevisail
Yeah.
to
That's
they were founded by
question.
an actual dragon. They're magical generalists.
Would
Elemental magic, including fire.
the Black Tari stuff you were talking about, would that be something that like one would encounter in the wilds, like randomly, like see it and like kind of not think of anything, like maybe, or is it like that uncommon?
It's more of a subterranean
Oh,
thing.
okay.
It's usually like underneath. You might find it in caves,
Okay.
but you wouldn't like just tromping through the forest. No, if it's on the surface, it's already doing its thing.
Okay. Okay.
So if I had to guess, if he's any house, it would be Sage Wallow.
Well, this is not an exhaustive list of houses.
I understand.
In fact, you could actually go through and if you wanted to make an exhaustive list of houses, this is the place to do it.
When I'm retired and have time on my hands, perhaps
Well,
I'll
I
come
mean,
here and do that.
you're talking probably 12 bookcases of books,
Yeah.
and it's organized alphabetically, and it's like the Trevisail. There's probably 3 shelves of books on just the Trevisail.
But there's really no way of finding the mages that are currently serving in town.
No.
There's not like a book that says this person.
No,
Okay.
mages wouldn't stand for that.
What is the name of the Sage Wallow mage in Amana? And where would I find that?
Cillian, she's the court mage in Amana.
Is there a list of mages currently working at the court?
That's the only that's the main mage. There may be other mages underneath her that work. That she may have an apprentice.
This person seemed like he would not be anybody's apprentice. He seemed like
You're talking about
the. I'm trying to figure out if I can figure out who this guy is just from the records here, but that doesn't sound like I can. Yeah, I have to.
I mean, you can. I mean, they're probably one of the books is probably an encyclopedia of all of the mage, like the listings of all known mage families.
Do I know if there was ever a family of mages that did summoning?
Sure, there was. I'm sure. Yeah, there probably more than one. Some of them probably don't want their name out.
No, I
There,
know.
there certainly are mage families that are like below board.
And was there ever a school that has since been disbanded, or their lore was deemed too dangerous that they
Give me that roll.
aren't officially studied? 17.
Oh,
I roll so well on these dice.
it's a slight
I
nosebleed.
should have rolled the blue.
You want to give you one of my set of dice?
Didn't
I'll
you
give
already?
them to you. No, well,
I failed again. Well, it's not a critical fail. It was a 17. Or is that a critical fail? 17 and 18?
it's critical failure would be 17 and 18.
Okay.
Well, what's your skill level? What's your skill level?
Of what was I trying to do? You just saw
it's
me
just
roll.
an IQ, so your IQ is not 15 or higher, right?
No,
okay,
my
yeah,
IQ
so that's
is
a critical
12.
failure. Yeah, you probably dropped a book and broke it.
Nice.
Well, you dropped a book and broke it?
Yeah, it's probably some old 200-year-old
It's like a clay
tome.
tablet. It's like a Flintstones
Probably
book.
dropped it in the binding split.
It's like slate tied with leather
Flying
tongue.
everywhere. I take it off the shelf and just
Either that or
Or you get like that face that comes out of the book in Harry Potter. And, like scares the shit out of you, like scaredy fart and everything.
I'll put it this, either you fucked up a book, or you like kind of lost track of what you were doing and started like jotting down notes in the pages of one of the books. One of those two things. You fucked something up. It's critical failure. That's why I said it. I will give you these dice. These are the dice I have been. I will give them to you right now.
It's okay. It's too late now. I already rolled the dice.
Okay. Well, that's not the last time you're gonna roll. No, I'm telling you now.
Wait, what?
These dice.
We're gonna roll more?
These dice have a story to them. Because I got these dice from Amazon and I didn't order them.
What? So they were destined.
They were destined to come to me, and they were ordered by someone else. I like to think whoever it was plays GURPS, because how many people order 3 dice? Just 3. There's only a couple systems that do that I know of.
And they're really generic dice, so you can't even like track down who made them or anything.
Nope.
Very mysterious.
But someone, and this is years ago. This is probably 8 years ago, and I've kept
wild.
these 3 dice because I like. And I will give these dice to you if you want to use
next
them
time
for
we
your
do a roll, we can have a discussion.
like,
about
gift
Or
them.
you can just borrow them, do
now
a quick
he's
test.
throwing
Now
them.
they're throwing them all over
Oh,
the
now,
place.
no,
Jesus.
it's there.
Why are you
See?
so angry? Good Lord.
Even 8 years ago, I've held on to these dice. I've held on to this uncomfortable hunk of metal in my ass.
In my ass. Through dysentery. It's your
well, I'm going to just...
it's your legacy. It's your birthright, Butch.
That's good. That's good.
The head thing, yeah.
I'm going to pick up all of the pages and both covers and just... And
So you broke a book.
I broke. And I'm going to
Okay.
take it back to the main librarian and say...
I'm going to do the right thing. Okay. All right.
I'm going to... Yeah. And I'm like, it was a very old book. I apologize. You're going to need to rebind it. Fortunately, it's not a magical tome. It's just a list of names. It's nothing too serious, but it did split in my hands as I was trying to research.
He seems a little upset, but he also is noting the fact that you brought it to him rather than just putting
put
it
it
back
back
up
on the
like
shelf.
a piece of shit and hiding it.
No.
So he's like, I appreciate you bringing it to us. We can. Worst case, we can recopy it so that it's not lost. They do that all the time. Most of the books, the old books in here, have been recopied multiple times.
That
anyway.
and books fail. I
Yes.
actually know a person who rebinds books, and that's a thing that happens.
Oh, yeah.
Unfortunately, it wasn't a magical book, so it didn't blow up on me. It was just a book of names.
Right.
Man, that would have sucked.
Wouldn't it? If I rolled it, if I failed and
Failed, and all of a
summoned
sudden you're
demon
like,
in the library.
it's like a Tex Avery cartoon. You realize we're starting to get like to the point where us guys are the ones that are like getting the Tex Avery reference.
Yeah. And they were old when we were kids.
Oh heck yeah!
There was one other thing I wanted to check.
The map.
Yeah, I was going to make a list of entrances for the castle, and I got a list of the names of the.
Give me another IQ roll.
Here, give me the dice. Give me the dice.
you
Let's
see-
try the dice.
Okay.
No.
All
Try.
right, we'll try just because you
This
made
is
such
now.
a big deal about
I'm
it.
screamingly
If you make
curious
this
about
roll, you keep those dice. What'd you roll?
I did not make it. That's a 13, and my intelligence is a 12.
They give me them back.
I think at this point we can clearly say
they're
it's
very
you.
jumpy
Man, you guys
dice.
are so angry. Why do you keep throwing things at each other? Calm down. It's just gaming. My God, nerds! I swear.
I tried.
Stu used to be in my corner too. He's like, he doesn't have bad luck statistically. It's just a thing. But now he's like firmly in there. You have the worst luck.
Oh no,
I've seen that. That's one of those things that's like pretty universal to gaming, though. There's always that one player. We were playing MERPs one time, and this one we overloaded the party. There were like 12 of us playing, and we decided because we're smart to start this fight in a cave with like hewn stairs, but they're only like 3 feet.
Oh boy.
So we're like one right after the other, going like the archers were up at the top trying to play things. My buddy Ralph takes a swing. It was successful. Takes a swing, critically fails, and if you're familiar with MERPs, they have an entire 2-page chart for all their critical failures. He rolled. The DM's like, ooh, go ahead and roll on the chart. He gets a 3, and it's you swing, you miss, but the momentum spins you around. Who's the next person in line? And it's my buddy Barney. Gets disemboweled.
Oh boy!
The momentum of him swinging the sword spins him around, cuts his buddy open, and he had made a rule right at the beginning of the game. He's like, "You die, you're out. There's 12 of you in this party. I'm going to weed you out."
That's a lot of
Okay, with 12 players, I could see
You
it
would
being
never
that.
allow 12.
No, not
It's-
anymore.
it
I made that mistake once.
We had ridiculous numbers in those games, and it was nonstop hilarity.
I would like to point out, too, that you have failed and shot a guy through the cheek
Heck yeah!
and failed and got your boot eaten.
I just wanted you to try my dice. Maybe those dice are not fair dice.
to be fair, though, when I do succeed, it's spectacular.
It's
like
true.
shooting through a window.
Yeah.
Right.
That was pretty amazing. I slept well that night.
I think that's...
Now,
I've gotten so distracted now.
Since I forced my dice on you, do you want to roll with yours and see if you make that IQ roll?
It's
Okay,
fine.
nice.
It's fine.
Okay. So you wanted the map of Amana.
Yeah, just a general map of Amana, just so I know where I'm going.
Okay.
And then a map of entrances and exits to the castle.
What'd be handy is if you'd taken me with you because I have, absolute direction and I know where everything is. But no, you just left.
You're not really allowed in the library. It's,
They would. I mean, you could maybe, but they would. If you did it a lot, and
So it's not like a gym where you can bring a guest. You get a guest.
All I'm saying is when we all go back to Amana, I'm helpful.
right. The one thing you do notice about the map, the general map of Amana, is there are you can see on the map there are these dotted lines that you don't have. There's no reference to.
are they ley lines?
No, it does not look like they're ley lines. Ley lines aren't really a thing in this.
Okay, I'll pull the string.
Bing bong.
Do you know what these lines,
Stop the train.
what these red dots are?
I would imagine it was probably access tunnels when they were building the city. That would be my.
Is there a separate map for
Sewers.
that somewhere?
No, it's generally sort of unusual for them to put them on there unless that was necessary structurally, which it could be because it looks like it. And he shows you, he's like this access tunnel. It seems goes under 3 buildings. So my guess is it was probably they kept track of where these things were in case so they didn't build anything too heavy on top. So there weren't any
Do you have any
collapses.
onion skin paper and
They give. There's just everywhere. There's little parchment stations.
I'm going to grab that.
Anything
And I'm
else.
gonna
Little parchment
sketch
station
out
with a little picture on top of a guy writing stuff down.
Yeah,
I'm going to quickly sketch out where these are
Okay.
in relation to the castle.
and they don't actually go anywhere near the castle. They seem to radiate from the town square.
That's fine.
The picture next to that station is somebody holding a book, snapping it in half with a slash through it.
Don't do that.
Don't do this.
You put a little circle with a line. Drop the book.
But it changes room to room. Some of them, it's an explosion. Another one, it's the guy coming out of the face coming out of the page screaming. It's the slash.
No.
It's like local OSHA regulations
Right.
require you to put those up in the libraries.
Depending on the section. That's very funny.
There probably is a mage OSHA, or if there
There would
be
have to be. One
yeah.
would think in that kind of a society where.
Oh,
Right.
yeah.
I'm sure my order has one because, we're all about healing and
Yeah.
so you want to be safe.
Yeah. See.
I remember what I was doing. I was looking up demon summoners in the book, and then everything fell apart. So I couldn't find. I don't know any of those schools because I failed.
Oh, dear.
Well, you broke the book, right?
I broke the book, so the pages are scattered everywhere, and I just don't have the time now to put it all back together and figure out what school, if there was an ancient school of demon summoning, where they are now. That's what I was doing. I
Okay.
remember now. I got all distracted.
Right.
Now I've got this map of the perhaps underground tunnels, and in relation to the castle, and then north-south, so that we know how it's oriented, and a couple other little landmarks, and yeah, entrances and exits perhaps. Like certainly where they end would be either an entrance or an exit or both.
Okay.
And then I'll head back.
Okay. So you head back, and he's back
And we're back.
with some parchments
Scrolls,
underneath
parchment
underneath
under
his
his
arm.
arm.
And I'll put the orb back in the box.
Okay.
Hi, Phade.
Hi. All right. Couple of things, and I explained to you what I've learned about pack magic and blood.
That's scary stuff. It's unnatural.
Incredible. I was trying to find who might have the power to summon demons, if there was any lost wisdom of that.
It's a thing. I mean,
I couldn't find it.
it's definitely a thing.
I just don't have the time. If I were perhaps had a couple of days or a week or two, I might be able to find out more about demon summoning and blood magic. We just don't have the time right now to do it. I also have but I did find a map here and explain to you. It looks like these are perhaps underground categories. Now, if I were going to be an underground school of wizards summoning demons, that's where I would be.
That's a fair cop. I mean, you don't want to do that stuff in person. Meta question.
Mm-hmm.
In the culture, the society here, is that sort of magic deemed kind of... I mean, in most cultures it would be deemed like that, necromancy, kind of
Right.
like the weird stuff that nobody likes to talk about.
Yes. I mean, there's a stigma to it, certainly.
Okay.
I mean, if he had dug longer, he would have found books that
Got different dice.
he had different dice. No, but he would have found books that teach you how to do
Okay.
that stuff. That knowledge
Wow,
exists, and if it's going to exist anywhere, it's going to exist in that library.
Because
that
that's
library
the
is,
big...
and it's restricted to members of that mage family.
Okay.
I don't have the time right now, and I don't really. I mean, perhaps later I can go back.
And any
a
secrets
lot.
that they discover about other mage families would be in there somewhere.
I do have a possible list of contacts, or maybe perhaps allies, or at least safe houses that we can go to once we get to Amana.
Alright.
So that's something as well.
That's always a plus.
And it sounds like we can probably use the skipping mirror to get there.
Yeah,
Once
there's
we're ready
definitely
to go.
one. There's definitely one that takes you to the ducal palace.
I say we wait one more day. Perhaps Stephanus will return, and we could talk to him.
Stefan.
Stefan?
Jack
Stefan will.
Stephanus, yeah. Jack Stefan.
Stefan.
Is he the smell good plumber?
No, I don't think so. That's Mike Diamond.
No, Jack Stefan was a plumber.
No, but he wasn't the smell good plumber.
Oh, no, that was Mike Diamond.
For those of you that don't live in the LA area,
Those are our plumber commercials.
yep.
We're going to start talking about Pup and Taco next.
Boy, that's a throwback.
Noggles.
Man, I missed
It was a
those.
restaurant.
Tasties.
It was
Remember
a fast
Tasty
food.
Freeze?
It was a fast food restaurant.
Okay.
Pup and Taco.
It's no Noggles.
Oh, no. Well, I mean, it's still Taco now, but
Yeah.
whatever. Although there's a Noggles in Stanton right now. They reopened one.
Really?
Yeah.
So, is there anything you want to do while we're...
Well, I wanted to talk to the other Castigan mage, but I don't want to go by myself because I don't think it's a very good idea.
I'll go with you.
Oh, thank you.
Okay.
We're going to go do that.
All right. So you head out of
We
town.
should all go. Let's stick together.
Okay, let's
Because
stick together.
this place is dicey.
It is dicey.
So you head out south.
Okay.
You're sort of in the farmland, and you're kind of on the main road heading out of town
Oh,
towards
nice.
Amana anyway. And you're going along, and that someone told you that he has a little house that's on the side of the road, and you see that there's it's a small, it's big, nicer than a hovel, but it's not a house. It's just a one room deal, you know. There's a little grove of trees there, and you can see there's a bunch of armor sitting on the ground, and there's a naked guy sitting on a tree limb up in the tree.
What you doing up there?
It's a little cold out here, isn't it?
I don't want to fight anymore.
Oh.
this your armor?
You can have it.
Wait, he's hanging on a tree?
No, he's sitting on a tree limb.
Sitting on a tree.
He's
limb,
taking
okay.
off his armor.
And he's sitting on a
has
tree-
climbed
naked. That's
naked
gotta
up into
hurt.
the tree.
What kind of armor is it?
Plate. It's like it's the
Stuff
shit.
that I can't use really, or can use, but
It's clanky.
It's clanky.
But Ziegler would like it.
Oh yeah.
Oh, he would love it. Yeah.
Yeah, we should take it. Are you sure? I mean, can we give you something for it?
It'll help someone.
Oh, I can do that. What's your name?
I know. I wrote it down.
So, just to be clear, is this on our way to the
At the
No,
house.
Castigan Mage,
He's
or
at the
this
house.
is the Castigan Mage?
We haven't established that yet.
We haven't established.
Oh, okay.
His name is Norman.
And tree, Norman. Well, hey, hi, Norman. Is this your house then?
Yeah.
Oh, you wouldn't be a mage, would
Just
you?
can wear armor here.
Sure.
It's GURPS.
You can do whatever you want.
It's GURPS.
Sorry.
So you wouldn't be a mage, would you?
Yeah. Yeah, sort of.
Sorta.
Yeah. I do a little bit of everything. I'm not really good at anything.
Well, I'm sure that's not true. You seem like a nice enough fella. You want to come down and we can chat?
Yeah. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Okay.
Okay. Do you mind if we step inside your place here?
Yeah, sure.
What the hell happened to this guy?
Naked.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, his armor's the
I
cloth
rummage through the armor
padding.
and I pull the underclothing
Okay.
and I hand him. Maybe you should put some pants on, because that can't be good for your dangly bits to be sitting on trees like that.
Okay.
All right, so you put his panties on.
Put stuff.
It'll be those things like in the Elizabethan costuming book that you tie across the front.
Right.
I gather
It's
the
probably
armor.
more like padding stuff underneath it. Yeah.
Well, I gather the armor and take it in with us just in case
Okay.
he decides to keep it. But keeping Beagle in mind for.
Okay. Norman, you mind if I make us all some tea?
Oh, that's fine.
Okay.
Yeah, it's in a cupboard.
Oh, I got some. It's fine. So I'm going to make everybody tea and
Okay.
ask Norman, like, what went on? What caused you to come so low here?
Oh, one of those kids, highwaymen, tried to get the jump on me. I was too high strung. I killed him.
Oh, that is sad.
Yeah, it looks like he was about 19, maybe.
Oh, that would get you down now, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Too easy of a life. Too easy to fall into that sort of thing, I suppose. But I'm not fighting anymore. I don't want to.
So what made you take off all your clothes and climb up on a tree then?
I'm done.
What were you going to do up there in the tree? I'm talking about your long-term plan here. I'm kind of curious. Actually, I'm not curious. I'm never curious.
Right.
Just make it chit-chat.
I'm not going to kill anyone anymore.
Well, Norman, it seems to me that you weren't really killing anyone to begin with until he threatened you.
Well, yeah, but
It's not really. What would have happened had you not done that?
I don't know.
Well, you can't be sitting in trees from things you don't know. We'd never leave the house.
That's what I think I'm going to do from now on, is not leave the house.
Did you try any healing on the young lad then?
Oh, no, I killed him. I gutted him.
Oh, yeah.
I buried him over by the creek.
Well, that was nice. Nice view.
True. If anybody wants to come visit him, sure.
But okay, so before the killing then happened, then Norman. I mean, obviously, we get around our sort. How much of this territory do you cover when you're not naked in the tree?
About a mile from the city gates, until there's like one or two more farms about 3 or 4 miles south of here.
Oh, all right.
I kind of stick to the road mostly.
to the road. So
Protect the farmers and make sure the merchants. Most of the merchant trains, they know to have guardsmen with them, but occasionally you get one who doesn't. I help them out.
Well, apart from, that unfortunate incident with the highwayman kid, you seen anything unusual around here lately?
No, pretty typical. Merchant trains and...
I tell you, Norman, did you see two mages come through here real recently? One had a staff with a green stone in it.
No.
No, not. You weren't up that far, probably.
No. But
Well, I got to tell you, Norman, we're trying to get some information because some bad things have been happening.
oh, really?
Yeah.
What sort of things?
So, you ever hear about this kind of magic where all the blood goes out of the person, but with no sign of a wound? That's been happening.
Sounds like dark stuff.
I think so too.
You kind of get the impression this guy's like, probably has a few spells. This isn't like a mage. This is you kind of getting the impression that this is
A hedge mage.
maybe.
He's no mere hedge mage.
There's no mere hedge mage.
I am no mere head mage. That was an epic story. They one-shot it. They found the party. This is we're playing D&D 5th edition. They finally got to the point where I'm like, you know what? I think they can take on a mage who can cast fireball now. So it had this mage, and he had 5 or 6 minions with him.
You were in this, right?
Oh, yes, I was
Yeah,
here.
and
This happened.
That's you had a rhino.
My one rhino, Patsy.
They had two trained rhinos that they could ride.
Nice.
Yeah.
It's like my finest moment ever. Just getting that rhino.
Fantastic.
They didn't one-shot the mage, but the mage never got to... It was one of those fights where it came down to the initiative roll. And I rolled bad for the mage.
Ooh.
And they killed him before he got his first turn.
But, and then this is Happy Jack's lore. Right before they nuked him, he said,
I am no mere hedge mage.
and they,
Then they killed him, and then they murdered him.
him.
And he never even got a chance to cast
and
his
it's become part of the Happy Jack
fireball
name.
spell.
That's awesome.
Anyway.
That is
Good times.
fantastic.
That was a fun
And it
campaign.
happened in Eldemy. Not
Nice.
far from the city you're going to. In fact, probably happened right around this area because you were on your way to Ecoa Smart when you did that 10,000 years later.
Nice. That's fantastic.
Yeah. Anyway,
While this chatting is going on, the armor is it super bloodied? I mean, is it gross or messy?
no, not at all.
So it wasn't
Looks
he
fine. His sword is bloody.
so
It's
it's
caked on and dried.
yeah.
But the armor, the armor's definitely seen.
Right, but I'm looking to see if
Surface.
it was a sign of cruelty, like someone going in and stabbing the crap out of someone and gushing blood, or he was in fact just defending himself,
You don't see any signs of
repeated
that level of no.
yeah, that kind of violence.
No. And on the sword, it's basically just got a smear of blood near the
Like
tip.
where
Where slashed
I
it, probably
cleaned the
eviscerated.
equipment
Okay.
for him.
Okay. And it is decent. It's got the livery of the
Of their order or
Castigan.
family.
Castigan.
The Castigan order on
The
it.
C with this chart.
Yeah.
It's like a set sign.
Like a cent. Yeah, exactly.
How big is Norman? Would any of this fit me?
Norman is probably, I don't know, mid 5 foot, 5'6", 5'7".
Oh, we're about the same size. So maybe we won't give all of it to Ziegler.
You don't have to give any of it to Siegel.
A breastplate might be nice.
It's clean.
Well, thank you, Dale. That was so nice of you.
I figured I'd do my part.
I want to help Norman out. He doesn't seem to be a wealth of information, but poor guy. I feel bad for him.
He seems traumatized.
Yeah, can I do lend energy or anything that would help?
Yeah, maybe. Do you have a... yeah, probably. Or
I have energy and I have vitality, but vitality's temporary. And I, of course, have all of the healings, but he's not necessarily wounded.
no, he doesn't. He's
No.
you know for certain there's not a scratch on him.
Right. We've
His
seen.
brain is
Except
wounded.
maybe around his butt cheeks where he was sitting on the tree.
Yeah,
His
probably.
brain is wounded.
Exactly. That's why I'm wondering if I can't just, perk him up.
Calm thoughts.
Yeah, basically. Yeah, it'd be like giving him a extra strong cup of coffee.
Yeah.
You can do
Norman,
that.
would it be okay if I, just helped you out a little bit, perk you up a bit?
I guess.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's see how this goes. I got a 13. And
14?
I don't know. Yeah, 14.
Oh, yeah, you're fine. Yeah. Okay. He perks up a little. I mean, he still seems... He's done with his calling. It's like he's decided he's not cut out for this.
Is he safe being left alone? Like, do I have to take
He doesn't
him?
seem... he does seem a little despondent, but not super despondent.
Okay, so he's just going to lead a bucolic life now.
Probably.
Okay.
At least for a while. Who knows?
Is there anything else useful we can ask this poor man? Anybody have any ideas?
Did you see anybody riding in pairs?
No. Almost everyone I saw was in usually wagon trains.
Like a caravan of some
Yeah.
sort.
If you see people riding in pairs, they're usually up to no good.
Ironically, or coincidentally, we're looking for someone
Oh.
who would be riding in pairs.
Mages with the...
Yeah, the green
I definitely
stone.
did not see anyone like
So you were the local mage. You've been here a while. You've seen a lot of mages coming and going.
that. Yeah, all my life.
Who are some of the more powerful mages that you know have passed through here or pass through here on a regular basis?
Most of them don't travel the roads. They normally take either the mirrors or they teleport, or occasionally a lot of ship traffic.
Looking for one specifically, you'd be easily recognizable by the large green gem on his
There's
staff.
just-
Oh,
where
did
were
you?
you?
Yeah.
She already
Oh,
asked
sorry,
that.
that's right.
Yeah,
That's right. You led with that, didn't you?
He's all, you mean with a green gem?
The one that she talks
The
about?
one that she just
never
asked me
mind.
about?
Yeah. Oh, it's got like a...
We got so distracted with the war
Never seen
rhinos,
it.
I forgot that I got asked.
I miss Patsy. Smack my mic.
I think you named it, too.
Patsy. Her name was
Patsy.
Nobody listens to me when I talk. Have you noticed this?
So did you ask about the green gem, man? I heard
We're looking
that.
for a guy. He's carrying a stick with a rock on it. It's green.
I got so caught up in the whole rhino story.
That's the best.
I guess we're not much to worry about it.
Well, Norman, you take care now. You
Okay.
Stay warm.
Stay safe. Try to get off the road as quickly as... It is starting to get close to sunset.
All right, we better get back then.
I leave him $10
Oh,
Okay.
that's a very nice deal. I think that's
because
a very
I'm
good
picking up
idea.
the armor for them to.
You sure? you still sure we can take the
I-
armor then?
What happened to that charitable disad you had?
I don't want it. He's giving him $10 for it. He didn't ask for anything.
That's true. Yeah.
Actually, I'm going to give him 14
Okay.
because that'll give me an even 80.
Oh.
It's bugging the shit out of me. I do that with my own actual money. I don't know.
Take my
I
money.
was just here. Take the extra. I'm
wrong
going
number.
to tip you. Sir, this is a Wendy's. So you can't take tips?
Okay, so what kind of armor we got now?
Oh, yeah.
It's regular plain old plate mail.
I don't know what I want to see.
I don't know which book it'll be. Just
I
note
got
it as plate mail.
you. I got you.
Okay, tell me.
Did I pull the right button? I didn't pull the right. Oh, yeah, here it is. Shields, barding. Should be. Always open to flak jackets, and here.
Okay.
Well, I guess we'll spend one more night in
Okay.
under the
Yeah.
Baron's care.
In when by the next morning, if you have any more damage, go ahead and make your.
No, I'm done.
Everyone's good. Okay.
Everyone's done.
And we need to let Jay know he gets 2 healing
yeah.
holds, because I'm sure he still has a little bit of points.
Yeah, he took some hits.
There is a message from Dostomir, and it says it basically confirms that that black tar substance was already down there.
Okay.
They basically have dug trenches, and at the direction of travel, they do believe it is coming from Amana or Eldemy. It's coming from south by the coast, that direction.
Well, hopefully that puts him at ease that it's not me,
Yes.
because
Well, it's addressed to you.
I'd already worked that out. But yes,
Oh,
okay.
well.
It's addressed to him.
I'm shocked.
Was there an apology in there?
No. There was not.
Does it read like an apology?
It reads more like a reassurance.
I see. That's
It
as
reads
close
like,
as I'm going to get.
Just so you know,
you didn't summon
this
anything.
wasn't you.
Okay.
This stuff was already down there. All you did was sort of excite it.
Which is exactly what I said. He'll come around.
Alright, I want to keep the breastplate, but then Beagle.
Well, you can
have the rest.
sort all that out.
Okay.
And I would like to end
Yeah.
in a little bit here because
I think we're kind of at a good ending point
Okay.
anyway.
Well, yeah,
We don't want to leave it or until he comes back.
right. And that's because the next set of stuff should be all four of us.
right.
Because it's
Because we're going to take a
bad
skipping mirror.
feelings.
right.
We're going to take a skipping mirror into the capital.
Yeah.
And we could really use Ziegler's help.
Yes.
Lore wise, do we know what this hedge or what this henge is right here in the Blighted Lands? I mean, is there some like knowledge that we would have?
Building a henge, are we?
It's ruins.
Oh, it's not a
In
henge,
fact,
it's a
most
ruin.
of this stuff is ruins from. There was an elven civilization on this continent previously. They've died off.
Oh, they died off. They didn't just disappear. They didn't go away.
They died off because elves, a mated pair of elves, can only have one child.
Aren't there rumors that some elves still survive in
Maybe.
the thickety bits?
Yeah, this was the untamed lands was their last bastion.
Okay.
That was when there was a population of elves, which they started to get scarcer and scarcer. There might be an elf up there, who knows?
Right.
But it's been centuries since anyone's seen one. But that was their last, the last area. Basically, as humanity kind of spread out, the elves started kind of retracting,
Withdrawing.
But they knew that was coming because from the earliest memories, a pair of elves could only have one child. So they were a race that was destined to eventually
Just dissolve.
dissolve.
Yeah.
Go away.
Interesting.
So we'll go ahead. Should we go ahead and end it there?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you next time.
We'll see you next year.
Yeah, that's right.
Wow.
Have a good holiday.
Bye.
Where is it? I know I have this song in here somewhere. There it is.
If I told you the things I've seen on my ways, if I told you the things I've done in my days, you wouldn't believe me anyway. So it's best I just don't say.
The preceding program has been a presentation of the Angry Folk Media Empire.